It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You will never influence the world by trying to be like it. That's it.
Carbon copy.
Just like that.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Well, today is a special day because it's my turn to give a topic. This one actually derived from I'd say maybe about a week or two ago. Me and B was talking, and I don't think it was just us. It was me, B, Jair, and maybe one of her friends or whatnot. We was on the way to the movies, and we were talking about a fight that was supposed to be happening between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, if I'm not mistaken. And we got to talking about the discussion of the brutality of the sport, and this might be one of the only times me and B have a slight difference of opinion. So she was looking at it in an aspect of why would a man or why would anybody put themselves through that type of punishment, and I was just on more or less like that's what people do or that want to do that. Like they're programmed different. So we was just kind of going back and forth on that, and it just came to a stalemate. But the main premise of the topic is: are you really living or are you living in fear? The reason why I brought up the discussion about the fight, it may be kind of far-fetched in a sense like, well, what does that have to do with living in fear? Well, some people's depiction on what is foolish and, something they don't agree with could be totally different from somebody else that's, I don't want to say wired differently, but something that they aspire or driven to do. So case in point with the boxing, in some people's mind, or in B's mind, is like, why the hell would I get in the ring with somebody who could damage me, hit me in the face the wrong way, hit me in the stomach the wrong way? Because that was one of the funny jokes was going on, because I said, well, how could it be boxing if you can't hit somebody in the face and you're just going to the body? You do know most people get knocked out from body shots, getting hit in the liver, spleen, kidneys, etc. If you're going to take away headshots, you might as well take away the whole damn sport. And she was like, well, I guess so, because it don't make any sense to me. Football, anything. So it's one of those fine lines where I feel like some stuff to me, I feel like if that's something you enjoy doing and you feel like that's what brings you life, that's what brings you purpose, that's what you enjoy doing, by all means, I advise you to do it, barring you're not hurting anybody around, like intentionally. You're doing something that you enjoy doing, whether it's skydiving, skiing, or like these extreme sports that some people do. I would never be caught dead doing. I wouldn't be doing base jumping. I wouldn't be doing bungee jumping or any of that stuff. But some people are thrill seekers and they feel like they're not living if they're not living on the edge. So that's how I'm going to start this. I want to turn this over to you about what your thoughts are about what's living or living in fear to you.
I don't have a problem with anybody living on their terms as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else. My issue where we disagreed, and I know, some people may say that's what they signed up for. You're absolutely right. I don't go watch boxing. I got more into sports. When we got together, I can watch football. At least they're padded with helmets and stuff. But me watching something and they can hit someone where it ends their life or leaves them to where they can't have use of their legs or their arms, that's a lot for me. But boxing is legal. People watch it and, it is what it is. I just feel like my quality of life shouldn't be at the expense of somebody else's death, being dismembered or handicapped or something like that. It's just a lot for me. And that's specifically with boxing, because we were watching that fight and I'm like, they are really trying to hurt the other person. I've seen Floyd box, and Floyd, he's not getting hit like that. Those guys were bleeding and it just was a lot. It was a lot, and I felt like, wow, they know what they signed up for, but man, that's crazy. That is my opinion. As far as me watching it or paying to go, I wouldn't do it. But, they're not grabbing people up against their will and telling them get in here and box with them because this makes them happy. These are people obviously participating in a sport that they agree with. living in fear and living. I think the living in fear part is based on the individual, because if somebody is wanting to do things, but, they have a fear of what people will say, or a fear of, just doing it in general, and it's not hurting someone else or not hurting them, because if something hurts you, it could indirectly or directly hurt your family or friends. But like you said, skydiving, bungee jumping, those are all risks. People's families or spouses are going to say what they have to say, and then they have to come to some sort of understanding or agreement that, hey, but you know what, I'd rather you do something you really want to do than not do it at all, because that's not living. That's between them. I'm not there to judge any of that. And now a quick moment from our sponsor, Journey of a Legend.
You. Yeah, you. What's your passion? Purpose. Every day you try, you succeed. The time is now. Journey of a Legend. It starts with you.
If you want to learn more or purchase merchandise, go to www.journeyofalegend.com. My statement and my feelings were specifically towards the boxing. Football is not even like that. They're not running to hurt someone. And when we've seen people like intentionally, buck with the helmet and stuff like that, they're penalized for it. So they have refs out there to see it. And it's like, you can't do that. Something's in place where they're not trying to hurt somebody. They're trying to get the ball across the field, and they're padded up and they're trying not to get hurt. When a person takes into account the list or the things mentally that they wanted to experience or do when they've done them, you can recreate some things. That's living, or not recreate, create a whole new list, and begin to move forward and execute different things to get them, knocked off the list. I think you're only living in fear if you're not doing things based on other people. That's living in fear, and you can't possibly be happy that way. But other than that, I'm all about somebody figuring out how to live their best life.
Yeah. Well, looking at it from a broad perspective, living in fear in terms of like figuring out what you want to do and afraid that somebody gonna say something that it's, that ain't what you should be doing, or it'll never work. That's actually different for me. I don't feel like that's not something that's affecting you physically as much as like the examples we gave with the sports. So more or less with the living in fear, with things that you want to pursue in your life. Yeah, definitely. I feel as though you should, once you figure out what that is, you should just go for it, because there's nothing like living your life years and years and years and thinking, what if I would have tried, what that would have looked like. Even if it didn't turn out the way you thought it would, the fact of the matter is you just don't know, because you never even done it. So that's one of the biggest things I would tell anyone that's like considering doing something and it's like, but what if it don't work? But what if it does? Well, what if somebody says something that said, and I mean, what if it's never been done? Well, why not be the first person to do it? Anything that you can tell yourself that's considered a what if, there is a rebuttal for that will put you in a direction of that you should try. There is nothing that should deter you from trying something that you feel you want to do, no matter what the circumstances are, because you just won't be able to live it down if you don't. That famous cliche statement that everyone says, it's a lot of great ideas sitting right there in the graveyard. Far as the physical one, the extremes, like I said, that one's a tad bit different than, just going out there and doing something that you want to pursue business venture wise or whatever your ideals are, mainly because it does have something to do with your physical being, meaning like you could be hurt. I've dealt with that many a times in terms of several injuries or whatnot, two mainly being towards my knees, which are like 60-year-old knees in a young man's body because of the injuries I've taken from football or whatnot. So those things, it brings like a psychological fear just because of that being there. And it's like, dang, man, if I wouldn't even play these sports, I wouldn't have got hurt. But then you got somebody out there that's like, that knows that this can occur, and they still want to do that because they feel like, well, that may not ever happen to me, and I'm not going to go out here thinking that it will. And that's exactly what you have to do. Like with those boxers and those people that go into these sports where it's a lot of contact in them, they can't go out there with the mindset, this dude could hurt me. Because if you go out there with that mentality, that's no different than somebody in life pursuing a dream or a goal that has nothing to do with sports, saying that, man, this couldn't work. It's a fear there. So they have to go out there being fearless. Yes, that's part of the journey. It could happen. Somebody could knock me out. I could do this. But you put yourself in the best position to where it doesn't happen. I do feel like there are some rules there that you probably don't think about in boxing. Like, for example, you can't hit somebody when their back is turned. Like, I know you said something about where they have pads, and if you hit somebody the wrong way in football, they'll throw a flag. There's penalties. Where there's points that can be taken away for somebody fighting dirty and shit. And the other thing I would like to say is, I mean, you know, maybe they could do something a little different in terms of like psyche evals and stuff. Because there are some people that probably shouldn't be in those professional sports just because they off. Like, if you're going in there intentionally trying to kill somebody, then you shouldn't be in that sport. I don't think nobody steps inside those rings or the octagon or whatever with the intentions to literally kill somebody. No, they're going in to win with their skill set that they have trained on. And sometimes it gets a little messy. But aside from that, I think from the physical standpoint of living in fear, extreme sports and stuff like that, I do concur with that. I guess a way, not even to combat it, but a way to where it wouldn't be as bad for, I don't know, maybe somebody who's married or something like that. Maybe you should marry somebody that's in like mind that loves extreme sports just the way you do, because they understand what can come with that, as opposed to dealing with somebody who's kind of conservative in the sense like, I don't ride motorcycles, I don't jump in cars and go on tracks and try to redline it. You know, I don't do any of that. I don't see the point in doing that, because then you might come up against some things that could be heavily disagreed upon, just because in one person's perspective is like, yeah, well, what's going to happen to us if you pass away and stuff like that, which that's a whole nother discussion. You only think about yourself, this, that, and the other, as opposed to being with somebody that has a like mind and you guys are both into that stuff and it's not as bad. So in the words of Dom, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. So yeah, I just thought that would be something interesting to talk about, mainly because that's probably one of the things I think that we have some similarities there, but some are different. Case in point with the non-physical fears, I think we're kind of in a cohesive unit on that one. But on the physical side of things, extreme sports, football, things like that, or extreme activities, we kind of defer.
At the end of the day, ladies and gents, live your best life.
Oh yeah, I can't live it for you. And you can't blame me for you not doing what you want to do.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggested topics, or you want to keep this conversation going, you can shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of any of the latest on our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.